Hello and welcome to the Dead Can Bear podcast. My name is Sean. Joining me today is the one and only Mr. LP, Mr. Lucas from there. How are we?
I'm well, Sean. How are you?
Yeah, good. Yeah, Big Dance Eve.
The Big Dance Eve, September 27. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it is, yeah. One of your three apps on your computer is calendar.
Yeah, and it is. You can say September 27. This is the time that the grand final should be. And I know what that sounds like. People say it's the last Saturday in September. That one year is the first Saturday in October. But it shouldn't be like the 30th of September. It should be the 28th, you know? I don't want it to be the 25th.
Is this the first time it's been in September for a while? Because hasn't the joke been, the big day in September, but it's like actually in October?
Yeah, I feel like that...
It's like October 1st.
That gag gained a lot of traction, but I feel like it might have only been the case once.
All right.
Yeah.
Good chat.
So that's good that we got to the bottom of that. Your Mighty Flying Lions are coming up against the Mighty Flying Swarers. Hey, who would win in a fight, am I right?
Probably the lion.
Yeah, I'd say
as
so.
well.
Although, have you ever seen like swan attacks?
Yeah,
they're fucking insane.
Yeah, I don't like swans.
Sleeper hit for scariest attack, as well as chimpanzees. They're fucking mental.
Yeah. What was that horror movie where the chimpanzee was killing
Cabin
people?
in the Woods. Oh,
No, it was like...
Jigsaw.
No.
Jigsaw was a chimpanzee.
Really? No, not at all. There was a... No, I'm never going to remember it. There was a horror movie where...
King Kong?
No, it was like...
That was a Kong.
That was a Kong, yeah. You talk amongst yourselves. We'll get Jamie to pull it up.
Talk amongst yourselves. Video era is here. Big Dance Eve is here. We've got a fireplace on the telly is here, so that's great. Happy to be at your place. Feel like we haven't recorded an episode, the two of us, in a while.
Yeah.
I feel like I say that every time.
The movie was Nope. Like the latest...
Jordan Peele.
Yeah. It came out 2022.
Wow. Oh, I didn't see that one. I saw Us, scary, and I saw Get Out. It's thrilling.
Yeah, I thought the first two were better than the third.
Yeah.
Third's still a good movie.
I prefer the books.
Yeah, so we're on video. So if you're listening to this on Spotify, you can also check it out on YouTube.
Yeah.
Or on Spotify. I'm still doing the video upload.
Oh, you're doing videos on Spotify?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's just like I think it's just us and Podcast About List in the whole universe are the only people who do it.
Yeah.
And like I just disabled video on 3G like instant because it just takes too long.
You got 3G?
No, you know what I mean. That's the colloquial term. When you listen to your episodes of the DTRBR podcast on Spotify, do you watch the video?
On Spotty, no. But what I do is I probably listen to every episode twice. The first time I kind of just run through it on Spotty, and then when I get to work, I'll chuck it on the laptop and be like on YouTube's, and then I'll actually listen to it the second time around as well. Just got to boost those numbers.
You got to boost. You don't like the YouTube videos?
Yes, I do.
Oh, do you?
I'm the one. That's when you say one thumb up.
No. I say 2 thumbs up. One of them is me.
Oh, well, you
and our listeners at home. Good chat. All right, well, let's talk about the Washington Wizards, your favourite basketball team.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So anyway, John Wall was fast and tall, a pure opposite to what you were. Well, let's just start with the roster.
What do you reckon?
Pretty shit. At lead guard, you've got Malcontent Brogdon, Bub Carrington, and Johnny Davis. Pretty good 3 names there.
Yeah.
I'll just read one. Then, like on the off guard, you've got Jordan Poole, Karshawn George, and then at forwards, you've got Kyle Kuzma, Bilal Coulibaly, Corey Kispert, Sadiq Bey, and Anthony Gill. Probably not going to make the roster, but we have to mention him for Dante reasons. And then at the bigs, you've got Jonas Valanciunas, Alex Sarr, and Marvin Bagley. How do you feel? Well, where do you want to start? You want to start with the off-season moves, with the young players, or just the vibe heading into the year?
I just think I want to start with the fact that the team's rebuilding. And it's really good that that's the case, because we realistically were rebuilding for maybe 6 years, but now we've said, hey, we're rebuilding, and it's so much nicer when the team just owns it. Beal's shit.
Yeah.
I think that this is what I wanted to talk about, the context leading up to this.
Yeah.
How do you get here? I think people don't really realize how good John Wall was, fast and tall and not short and fat. People don't realize how good he was. People like to say Gortat was good, and like Otto Porter had a career shooting year, and Beal was this exciting young guard, but then Wall is the one that gets criticized. And it's like, you take him out of the context. Gortat is he's the 80th best center in the league. He couldn't catch his passes. Like, the Gortat screen might have created 2 to 4 points for Wall every game, but Gortat probably left 8 to 10 points on the rig. off just not catching all those passes.
I think if Gortat was in the league today, he'd just be Jonas Valanciunas.
Yeah, maybe, but could you imagine him adding a 3, you know?
Gortat?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure he hit a couple. I'm sure he's one of, yeah, he's Polish, man. I'm sure he's hit a couple.
Yeah. But anyway, what was the nucleus? He was like leaps and bounds ahead of the rest of the team, and he dragged them along with him. And yeah, he boosted everyone's value. Everyone else was seen in a good light because of him. And then we lost him, and it was just such an immediate and steady decline. Like shit straight away. Bill obviously can't be the best player on the team, or in he is. They're 36 and 46.
Also, he's bloody FGs.
Yeah, not bad, like FGs and something about millions per year. Really crazy to think that a player like Beal yielded 6 second-round picks and Wizards fans rejoiced.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my God, he's gone. And we got 6 second-round picks, but most importantly, he's gone.
When I messaged you this week and said, hey, do a pod today about Wizards, right? Like, what do you want to talk about? You said, I want to talk about how shit Gortat is and just the fact that Beal's gone. And I thought you were kidding. You've leapt right into that.
But it's because it's the truth, you know? Like, people don't watch Wizards games. I did, and I do.
Yeah.
And I've seen what's happened.
Well, how'd you lose Wall again? Was there just too many injuries and then all of a sudden he signed for $6 million with the Clippers?
I think it was injuries started to derail it, and then there was like I feel like there might have been a weird buyout thing, and it was like how do we get value out of this guy when he hasn't played in so long? So we got to, you know, kind of mask his value, but also be like, hey, this was this guy.
Yeah, you bought him out at like 50 mil or something?
I think it was something like that.
Yeah.
There's no way we can check it up. But yeah, after he went, I think he was such a chapter in the history, because before him was like Gilbert Arenas pulling a gun on Javaris Critton or vice versa. And then he inherited that just awful team. They signed Kirk Heinrich, epic. And then he blended what theoretically he should have been the blender between. He should have been the DeMar DeRozan at Toronto. You know, led the team, and then the next team was the contending team. But you know, no one wants to come to Washington. Mismanagement. The Lakers fuck up and trade for Westbrook and make
Just give him Kuzma and Harrell and KCP.
who's the guy? The guy that he's left now. The guy that brought in, that got rid of Westbrook. The GM. Fuck, what's his name? Not Ken Leonsis. His
Yeah, but he had like he was like a real macho. He was a Chad.
Yeah, he was a Rhino still.
Oh yeah. Jamie, get that up.
Yeah. So Jamie's pulling that up. I feel like he was a one-hit wonder, and his hit was the Lakers' incompetence. And now we brought in, is it Michael Winger and Will Dawkins?
Yeah.
And they're just churning out OKC 2.0.
Yeah.
At like, 80%, 70%.
Well, it's just you're starting from such a deficit.
And we're starting from somewhere, you know?
Yeah. I cannot find his name anywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, Westbrook was traded for John Wall.
Yeah.
He went to Houston, then he couldn't play, and then his contract just eventually expired.
Yeah. But now
Tommy Shepard.
Tommy Shepard.
Yeah, and he sounded like
he had a
wrestler. Who's the John Cena? He sounded like John Cena in an interview.
Did you ever copy his laugh? Such a rich guy laugh.
Yeah.
He was like, well, we're very excited to have this guy coming in. Ha, 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 ha.
Yeah. I remember he went, and funny we should mention this, he went on an episode of The Low Post and did like a 40-minute interview. The Low Post, Zach Lowe has been let go.
Oh,
He's been let go of ESPN. We now the Deep 2 Podcast Network has reached out to him and see if there's any mutual interest. I feel like we should talk about that a little bit. Like, Zach Lowe, who had like one of the biggest salaries in ESPN. Also, ESPN just lost Adrian Wojnarowski for obviously he just retired from journalism, has moved into being a GM for a fucking high school team.
Actually,
God knows how you do that. Like, is there a salary cap? Is it $50,000?
what do you do?
What do you do?
GM of a high school team?
I think it's just I don't think he's going to do anything, but maybe he will. Yeah, ESPN, they said they were letting go of a few people for financial reasons. You have to imagine Woj was like on the highest salary of any journalist ever.
Yeah.
You save a lot of money. Zach Lowe, I know he was on like above $1 million a year just to do the low post.
Wow.
And ESPN, it's been well chronicled that they're getting very cheap and they're losing a lot of people. But Zach Lowe was like the first podcaster that I really enjoyed listening to. And I'm not saying it's not like he's going to retire. Like I'm sure he's going to just do his podcast elsewhere, cough the ringer, uncough, right?
Why his own thing? Why would he go to the ringer?
Because he's obviously used to work with everyone at Grantland. Like half of his colleagues are there, and KFC just moved to Yahoo.
Yahoo, man.
Yeah,
But like I couldn't imagine. Actually, I could imagine Bill Simpkins getting along with Zach Lowe.
Well, they do.
Yeah, but I also couldn't imagine Zach Lowe wanting his boss to be Bill Simmons.
Who knows? I think.
Would you want your boss to be Bill Simmons?
Yeah, because that means you're working for the ringer. But so when Grantland got dissolved by ESPN, ESPN just paid as much as they could to keep Zach Lowe while Bill Simmons went off and did his own thing, and then after a year or two started the ringer with a lot of his old ESPN/Grantland colleagues. So I think there might have even been interest in Zach Lowe going with when the ringer was formed.
True.
And then they didn't podcast together for a couple of years. This is like some Real Housewives shit, but but they didn't podcast together for a couple of years, and all of a sudden it was like the reunion pod where they do a home and home, and they did 2 or 3 home and home podcasts every single season. It was like a pre-season and maybe just before the playoffs. So I think he would, like, honestly, if Sam Reeves, right, sent me a splash message and he's like, where do you think he's going to go? And then I hadn't seen the news yet, and I was like, oh my God, like Zach Lowe, let me make a funny little graphic for the Deep 2 on Insta. I think it is, I think he will go to the ringer.
Isn't basketball just a 12-month sport? Like, we're talking about a fucking free agent journalist.
Yeah. But I think this has been the least 12 months sportiness we've had in a long time.
That's true.
Like, no doubt.
And we had an Olympics.
Yeah. And like the only like Olympic collusion, like usually there's like a bit of splash where it's like, Milos Teodosic, look at him, he just averaged 9 and 11 in the playoffs, and now he plays for the Clippers, right?
It reminds me of that terrible tragedy.
This year is just Gershon Yabusele going to the
Really killing it. Yeah, sending Gobert to the bench.
Yeah, killing it, and then getting an NBA roster spot.
Yeah.
You guys could have signed him, but anyway, so we've gone through a little bit of history, and then we started talking about journalists. But let's talk about this current roster.
Yeah, where are we right now?
So some of the young fellas, you obviously drafted second overall pick, Alex Sarr. 14th pick, Bub/Carlton Carrington, one of your coolest names in the sports. And Kaishawn George for the 24th pick. So like you're bad draft and you're able to get a lot of value. And you're able to just bring in like young talent. You're just bringing in guys and having a look. Like I think I've written here, have a look, son, for 2 of your young players. How do you feel? Like, who's your favourite out of those 3? Do you feel like any of them going to be good after some very limited viewing in Summer League?
Bridget Carlton Carrington. I like it's so bad to look at the roster.
It's so bad.
I think I want to start with the cliff note on Sadiq Bey. He's just going for his next contract, right? That's why he's at Washington.
Yeah, oh God, we should have pulled this up, Jamie. Jamie's going to get fired after this.
You know he scored 50 points in a game one time.
Yeah. He's like the...
Go as second.
It's not even alphabetical. I don't know how you're second. Sadiq Bey got $19 million guaranteed across 3 years.
It's 3 years. What's he doing?
What's he doing exactly?
Why is there not a 1 before all of those 6s in Washington?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's puzzling. It's like, I don't know, maybe he sees something that no one else does, and in 3 years' time, he's part of the championship roster.
No, I think his offers might have been around the mid-level for 1 year, and you guys were like, we'll just give you a 3rd year, like what the hell are we doing with the money?
You need players on the team. Yeah. And then also, who knows if he's shooting well and we can get something for him.
He's very up and down, isn't he?
He's very up and down, so I feel he starts the season up. Similar with Malcolm Brogdon. I feel like Rich Holmes, we can't trade him for a long time. Is that the case?
You can't trade him until December 15th. But Rich Holmes, his contract, it's $25 million across 2 years, but that second year is fully non-guaranteed. I think it's like $250,000. He did some weird thing where he opted out of, it was like a 2-year, $13 million deal, and he opted out, which everyone was like, that's insane. Like, why would you do that? But then he just re-signed for $12 million across. Like, I think he ended up making like an extra $200,000 just to like smooth your books a little bit, so now you've got a little bit more cap space for next year.
Yeah, Ryan Rollins still on the pay wave.
Ryan Rollins, you remember what happened to him?
No?
So he was traded to you guys in the Chris Paul trade, where the Golden State Warriors trade Jordan Poole plus Ryan Rollins and Patrick Baldwin Jr. and the pick.
Yeah.
But Ryan Rollins, couldn't really get a gig for the Capital City Go-Go, and then was caught on camera shoplifting at a store.
God, just doing it for the art form, really.
I think he plays for the Bucks now.
Yeah. Well, more power to him. But as for the roster, yeah, I feel like this roster is made up of young people. I don't want to really call most of them prospects. Movable contracts and Jordan Poole. Yeah, I think those are the three tiers of this team. JV, I can't see him sticking around, although I feel like he'd be a good mentor for Sarr, even though there's just no overlap in their games whatsoever. Kispert, obviously, sign him to as many extensions as possible, keep him on the books. It was really cool to talk about him with Xavier Cooks. That was awesome. I actually really wanted to just do that whole episode on just Kispert. But yeah, seems like a great guy. He's an awesome basketball player. He already just knows what his role should be on any given lineup. Anytime the play ends in him shooting the ball, I'm happy. He's becoming a better slasher. He'll get a couple posters here as well. And then Koulibaly, I feel like when head coach Ryan Keefe, took over, everyone started developing, and almost too much. We have this guy Jared Butler. I don't know what.
Yeah, he's still do him. Right,
I was gonna say he's not on the roster, but Ryan Keefe loved him, and he became a really handy. You probably wouldn't have him as a backup point guard on your championship team, but if he was your third string point guard on your championship team, and someone got hurt, you would be more than happy with him stepping into that role.
Like Jan Clark.
Does more shit. Less good of a shooter, but does more shit around the court. And yeah, I think the team started to develop a lot more with Ryan Keefe as the coach. He accidentally got us a 3-game winning streak, which probably lost us the chance at Zachary Ricochet. Ricochet. Whatever the fuck his name is. But our current young people, we've got Koulibaly. I would love him to stay on the team forever. Johnny Davis, I would like him to go. Bridget Carlton, Bob Carrington. I'm interested in him, and you haven't got and Kaishawn George. I'm interested to see what the two of them can become, because they still seem very they just seem like bucket getters, but who knows how long it'll take for them to reach that in the NBA, if they do reach that as their role. But Alex Sarr, I'm really excited to see him play. Obviously, he didn't have the most tremendous summer league, but we have such a long-term vision for the team, and he's allowed to shoot 10% from the field his first season. I would love to see him just become you know what? I would love to see him become the defender that everyone thinks Evan Mobley's going to become, actually become it. Yeah. And then
you got that Evan Mobley Triple J mold where it's are you there yet?
Yeah.
Or you're not?
Yeah. And I feel like Ryan Keefe will be getting all the other guys in spots offensively. So Alex Sarr can maybe flesh out his offensive game in his first season or two. And then when the team is still shit in 2 years' time, then Alex Sarr can start developing the offensive game, and he's 21. So I'm actually really excited, because there's no pressure of wins. It's just personal development and team development. And I couldn't imagine walking into this locker room and feeling, great. I wouldn't get the vibe these guys love each other, But hopefully they can build something. And hopefully we can build something in, let's call it the post-wall era.
Yeah. It's been the post-wall era for a while.
Yeah, but this is now the first season where it's actually
you're fully
the remnants. There's no remnants of the wall era.
Yeah, last year you fully committed, but it was a bit shit. Bob Carrington, a lot of the guys I'm listening to really like his game, which is okay, why did he fall to 14th in a bad draft? But you got him, 19 years old, and I I don't like, and I've criticised Jonas Valanciunas plenty of times just about like what's his fit on a playoff team.
Yeah.
But on a rebuilding team, like when he was like when Ja Morant was just learning how to play basketball in the NBA, it's so cool to have Jonas Valanciunas who's like, yeah, millions of questions, but at least he can catch a ball. So if you're a young point guard, you just get to run pick and rolls with a dude that if you pass it in the right spot, he's going to catch it and do his little push shot and get it in. So that's great for a young point guard's development. Right?
And he'll win 2 games from the 3-point line a year. It's contractually obliged.
Yeah. He'll hit 8 threes and then but which is like, he's not good enough that you're like, oh, we might actually have something with Jordan Poole, Jonas Valanciunas.
No.
It's like, oh, he's good enough. He's a strong body. Alex is going to play the 4, just like Jaren Jackson Jr. did next to Marcus Gasol in his rookie season. God, such a drop off there. But yeah, just a big body. You just feel kind of. I really like. Initially, I was like, why'd you guys do this? But it's actually, if Jonas Valanciunas doesn't care about winning basketball, this is incredible.
Yeah.
Who are you going to draft next year, right? Like, let's say some scoring wing or a guard or whoever it may be. Jonas Valanciunas is just going to still be there, still just catching the right pass.
Catching it is the great first step.
Honestly, because like you look at like LaMelo Ball, it's like he's obviously had Miles Bridges there as a finisher, but like with these bigs, it's like when you look at LaMelo Ball, you're like, oh, he's an excellent pick and roll operator. It's like, I don't know, man. He's got Nick Richards and he's got Mike Williams, who's played. I think it was like someone was talking about it yesterday. He's played like 37 games across 2 years. Like that's like, if someone did that in the AFL, you'd be like, oh, maybe a bit more, man. So it's like, it's so nice just to, and Bob Carrington might not be the answer, but the next guy might be the answer, and you've just got finishers.
We got bites at the apple as well.
Yeah. And Kyle Kuzma was like a bit of a movement shooter, and like, you know, on this team, a few black holes with Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma, where it's like, hey, we don't know how to score, and Jordan Poole's like, neither do I, but I'll do it.
Yeah.
He posted on his story a photo of him and Derrick Rose today, after Derrick Rose announced his retirement. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Student of the game, Jordan Poole.
Yeah.
And tank commander. That's actually
truly the tank commander. I feel like looking at these, the number 1 on the depth charts for everything here, I feel like Kuz could really help a contender. Like I really think he's like, you know, I think he's so much better than Denny, like so much better across the board.
Yeah.
And like,
but I don't know, like I think he's a good role player, but I think he just gets paid a bit too much. So it's it's just hard to make those trades.
Yeah, hard to get him, hard to rationalize it. I think only thing that I would consider like a full-on success from this season, like the most black and white pass fail would be, can we move Jordan Poole? Because if we can't, that's a fail.
I think it's too hard. I think
what if we trade Jordan Poole and 2 second-round picks for fucking trade exception 1?
Like no one's going to trade exception.
Yeah, but like just theoretically,
like Detroit, right?
Yeah.
Did you trade for like Tobias Harris and Tim Hardaway Jr.?
Didn't they just get the bag?
Yeah, bag adjacent.
Bag adjacent, but like they're there for years.
2 years on Tobias Harris, like 2 for 50,
and JP's 3.
Yeah,
3 to go.
Yeah.
3 to come.
I don't think you can do it. I don't think you can do it because like every team that's bad doesn't want to take on 3 years of bad salary because they're just like, well, let's just keep the books clean and like maybe we can sign our own Jonas Valanciunas. I think you're stuck with Jordan Poole for 3 years.
Yeah, but I guess the team's going to be shit in that time anyway.
I think you. Look, I don't think there's much that's going to be considered a failure for this Washington season. But if you finish the season with Brogdon, Kuzma, and/or Valanciunas on the roster, I think that'll be a fail.
Yeah,
if you can get a second from Brogdon.
Oh no, I think Brogdon's gone. I think Kuzma could be gone, but I think JV is going to be there.
I think he will. Yeah,
for the length of the season.
I can just see the Lakers being like, "Hey, Gabe Vincent actually hasn't played basketball in 3 years. Let's Gabe Vincent plus a salary from Brogdon, and we'll give you 2 seconds."
This is like, okay, why didn't the Lakers just get Brogdon whenever the first time he came available was?
Yeah, well,
I feel like
he hasn't anyone.
His final landing spot is clearly the LA Lakers.
He's just Spencer Dinwiddie.
But he's better.
Yeah,
why didn't the Lakers do that at the start? Why didn't they say, okay, we have LeBron and AD, Malcolm Brogdon's the next guy we get. He's very gettable.
Yeah.
He's 18 points. I can't remember what season it was, but I was doing a pod with Mark and we were like, something Malcolm Brogdon, he'll get you 18 points every night. And his first 6 box scores, I think didn't go below 17 and didn't go above 20, and 3 of them were 18. And it was just like, oh, he's going to just do that.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he'll
he's
do.
very serviceable. Like, he had the 6th man of the year run in Boston. Yeah, well, let's move on to talk about the Denny trade. So we're talking about Bub Carrington. So Portland traded for Denny Avdija for Malcolm Brogdon, the 14th pick, 2 seconds, and a 29 first that is kind of fake, but it's going to be like the second most favourable with a whole bunch of other teams. So let's assume that 29 first is like the 30th to 27th pick, right? I think that is incredible value for Denny.
It's insane value for Denny. It's like, you know, I hate to use this talking point, but what was the market? You know? Like, what was there another trade that they were competing with? Because that seems like the case.
Yeah.
And
I spoke about it with Dante when we did off-season grades, and he's like, man, they got a 3-and-D wing/forward who's on...
Where's the 3?
Well, I mean, like...
The D.
I think he's done an average job, but I think the fact that he's on... Dante was arguing, we'll call him Dante Advocate, the devil of the DA.
Yes, yeah, right. The Denny Avdija.
He reckons it's just he's on a 3-year contract. He fills a role, you know, like he might be coming off the bench, he might be starting at the 3, and he'll do that for 3 years and it's passable. Where it's really hard to get passable wings who can like at least feign defense.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. So I'm going to need to come back and circle around to what passable means to you. But I remember at the start of last season when he signed his contract, an article came out and I was like, we just accepted the rebuild, and I was like, let's do it. You know what? I'm going to back Denny. I've been pretty against him for the first few years of his career. Let me back him. And the team said, I don't know if it was the GM or if it was Wes Unseld Jr. was like, we're really excited for Denny's appetite to defend, which, you know, means they couldn't find anything to compliment about his defensive game. Yeah. He accidentally had a really good defensive, you know what, he defended Giannis for 3 plays at the end of a game against the Bucks one time, and Giannis accidentally missed 3 times, and Denny was doing this, which you can now see on the video pod. Check it out on YouTube or fucking Vimeo. And he did, yeah. So Denny did like the, you know, stop. I'm the stopper or whatever. And since then he just had a reputation of being a good defender. He is not passable, but a pass mark, like right on C as a defender. As a shooter, it's very reliant on him getting wide open looks, and his form's okay. You know, is Scoot Henderson the one that's going to create those wide open looks? Who knows? I don't know, but this is the type of pay, like if the Lakers made this pay and you can drag him along with LeBron and AD, I understand that. And you want him to fill the Cam Reddish minutes. But if you want him to come in to Portland, what are they gunning for?
Yeah,
I mean, what's their upper limit? Can you see them winning 41 games?
No.
35?
Well, their goal, and they've said, is they want to make a Houston Rockets like league. So the Rockets finished the year on like 36, 37 wins, right?
I think it was 40. I'll look it up.
Jamie, we got Jamie. This is why we pay him. But the Rockets were like sniffing the play-in until they lost that head-to-head with the Warriors, which is like should have been a sign where it's like, hey, the Warriors are actually like in a battle for the 10th spot. Yeah, they want to make that leap. So just getting like serviceable
41.
Wow. So you make that trade, and you've got all of a sudden the Blazers have a deep, and now the YouTube viewers can see me putting inverted commas, but you've got Scoot, who should be something, Shaden Sharp, Tony Simmons.
Yeah.
And then you've got Denny Grant and the 2 bigs / 3 bigs with Donovan Klingon, right? That's a little Star Trek joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I don't see them winning 41 at all. Like the West, like look at the West. Like the Rockets were 41, they couldn't make it.
Are they better than the Rockets?
The Rockets are getting better. The Spurs are probably better than Portland. And Memphis are out of the playoffs, so Memphis is going to be back there.
Yeah.
There's no way the Blazers win 41, and that's why I think it's such a great trade for you, because it's like you just found value. Like you said, who's outbidding him, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy that this team was bidding this high.
And the value going out versus the value going in, we're good there. But like, if you're Portland and you're like, we need the guy that's going to jump us up to 42 and 40, I don't think that answer is in Mr. Andia.
Yeah, well, then, they need to get to 30 first.
Yeah, and then there's the other side of it where it's like take Drew, for instance. The value of Drew going out versus Dame coming in, you're probably happy with that as the Bucks. But then the value of him on that new team really hurts you. The value of Denny on his new team doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah, but it's a different conversation though, because Boston needed someone to a starting point.
Yeah, but I'm saying I'm not going to look at Denny like.
Let's say he blows up, you're not worried. You're like,
I'm not. Yeah, I'm so fine.
Yeah. And him blowing up would be, just a better 3-and-D wing.
Yeah.
Like he's not going to turn into Jeremy Grant. Like he's not going to average 20 points in the back.
And here's the thing, man. What did you say? It was like Denny.
The 14th.
At least a wing on a
2 picks.
A wing sized. At least a wing size and on a great contract. He had. We had to play him. He has 4 years of experience at NBA, and he wouldn't have gotten that in any maybe at Detroit or all of the other irrelevant teams. You play the 6'9" wing because you see what he can become, and we've seen it. We've seen a 140-point game, and we've seen flashes. I think you know what the thing I will say is that we didn't use him well. He was like a not a point forward. But like coming out of he was playing in Europe, right? Yeah. Coming out of
Israeli league.
Playing for Tel Aviv. Yeah, coming out of there, he was like the ultimate secondary playmaker slasher. Always looked a step behind, but had his bulk and knew how to move his body and find angles. Because
it was like Carl Anderson to Andre Iguodala. Like, where's he going to fall on that spectrum?
Yeah, and like, and he would bring the ball up, but he wasn't like the primary play initiator. So, and I really wanted us to see what he would look like in that. But we were like, no, this is who you are. We're going to put you in this role. But I don't know. I think he might just not be good enough to be that in the NBA. And hopefully he can recoup that because it was really cool. It was like, oh, if this is what we're bringing in, that's awesome. And that complements our other playmakers really well. And the 2 shooters we have on the team. But I don't see that being the case in Portland as well. So I don't know. I really want that player to come out of him. But I just don't foresee that.
Yeah, I think he's going to end up being Torian Prince.
If that.
All right, before we get into a bit of a prediction, maybe win totals, etc., I do just want to mention that you enjoy Montrezl Harrell. I feel like you've been a big fan of his game.
Yeah.
Now plays for Adelaide. What are your thoughts on that?
It's fucking epic, man. I've looked at all the times Adelaide are playing at
Melbourne.
In Melbourne, and I'm legitimately here for one. I'm busy. Yeah. I'm already busy the other, I think 3 times they come, which I'm actually kind of pissed off about. Trez we would dump the ball to Trez and he would just get a bucket against whoever we were playing against. Freakishly long arms. Like Jeremy Cameron, take a seat. Long arms. Really, you know what I learned from Trez? You know what I learned from Trez and AD? Center is just a mindset. He just wants to be the guy. He wants to be the guy in the middle of the key. He wants to take on the challenge. He didn't give a fuck about getting dunked on. He did not care, and he never got dunked on. And like he had a few like really good swats. He had a couple or maybe he had one really good one with Adelaide. It's really exciting, man. I think it's cool. I think it's probably the best signing the NBL has had in. God, who knows how long? I mean, it's too hard to tell how good LaMelo was. Like, you didn't know coming in.
A lot of the next stars don't play that much. LaMelo played a lot, but like even like other ones, it's like Rocco. Rocco played like 5 minutes in his debut game.
Yeah, he's still really young though, isn't
he? Yeah. I mean, that's the whole point of the next star.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's really exciting. Are you gonna? I also really like the Adelaide colours. I think maroon and cream.
Yeah. Well, that's their ult, man. They've got this like black pinstripe on blue.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, with like a big red and yellow logo. It's really it's great colours, exceptional colours. Yeah. We'll go to that game in Melbourne.
Yeah.
Because I do want to see it as well.
I would love that maroon and cream. If we had a 10-pin bowling team.
True.
Now we're fucking talking.
It's like your tennis kit.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the Wizards could even go with a bit of maroon. Yet to see the alternate jerseys. You excited to see what the Wizards alternate is going to look like? Is it going to be that fluoro blue, that blue on grey?
Why is there so much lime in NBA jerseys?
Yeah.
Why is lime making it to?
It's Brett, bro. It's Brett Summer.
but this
The Wolves
inspired
were
Brett
early.
Summer.
Yeah. Charlie XCX. Charlie XCX was watching. What's your top 5 songs on?
Oh god, it's too hard to pick something.
Fucking done to man. Yeah, she was watching Wolves play for maybe like Ant's rookie season when they had the highlighter jerseys, and she's like, "Far out! I got an idea here." So the Washington Wizards won 15 games last year. That was the second worst in the league, behind the Pistons, who won 14. For reference, the Hornets won 21, Blazers won 21,
Yeah, plus or minus 15. What do you reckon?
like 15 and a half.
Yeah.
I think their over-under is going to be set at like 20 and a half, right?
Oh,
And you're playing in the under.
I think we can get the record, man.
So the Nets will also be gunning for that record. I think.
The Nets are better than us there.
Nah, you reckon? I think.
Yeah, we're fucked.
Did you seriously just say that?
Dude, they got Schroeder, they got Cam Jonas, they got Cam Thomas and Cam Johnson, they got Nick Claxton.
Yeah.
They've got like
Ben Simmons has been shooting threes.
they got Killian Hayes.
Yeah, they got I don't know. They got Killian Hayes. Yeah, the only team I could see being worse than you is the Nets. And you think you're worse than the Nets?
Dude, of course we are.
Oh, Cammy John.
They got Cam Johnson. They got players that have a reason to be good.
Bro, Cam Johnson versus Jordan Poole, when they're like, you're taking off to see who's going to get
Cam
the-
Thomas versus Jordan.
Cam Thomas.
Oh, that's what you mean. Yeah.
I'm not shooting into Cam Johnson.
Where do you stand on the Cam versus Cameron debate? Because I think Cameron Johnson and Cameron Thomas sound better than Cam Johnson and Cam Thomas. But Cam Thomas is such a Cam Thomas.
Yeah. I think it's a case by case.
Yeah.
So sorry to give you a flat answer.
Yeah.
Okay, so you think you're winning under 20 games?
I think it's closer to 10 than it is to 20.
Oh.
Like, I think we're like 12. I think it's 12 and 70 season.
Kuz,
Yes. This is my point.
Koulibaly, like Jonas.
But like, we have to win the game.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just about getting to the end of the game.
All right, better question. But I think
Like, could you imagine us blowing out a team?
No.
Because that's the only way we win.
So
because it gets to the end of the game and it's crunch time, we'll lose.
Yeah. All right. New question. So I think we're pretty set you're going to win about 12 games.
Yeah.
Are you going to be better on defense or offense?
Great question.
Let's say you're
great
ranked.
question.
Let's say you're ranked 29th and 30th.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Which one's 29th?
Offense. We'll be better at
I
offense.
think defense.
Who?
What do you mean? Who's got worse?
No, who's defending? Koulibaly.
No. Well, so JV's a vet, right?
Yes. Not a good defender. Exactly. This is the
Kispert, right? So imagine the defensive.
this is the Denny Avdia has an appetite to defend argument for JV.
Koulibaly is like as long as they come. When they see me, they run, right?
Yeah.
Kuzma's a vet. Kispert at the 2, right? Kispert's serviceable.
Yeah.
And then who's your point of attack defender? What if
What if?
What if Batman didn't die? It was
Yeah.
a Marvel show.
Yeah.
I don't know who's your point of attack.
Exactly right. So you don't have any defenders, and then Kuzma and Poole might get hot on the same night twice, and that bumps us from 30 to 29.
Karshawn George is like 6'7". You might play him at the 2.
He might.
He probably will. Yeah, you got a lot of wingers. Sadiq Bey.
Michael Winger.
Yeah, okay. So you reckon offense? Who's gonna be the worst offense? Cam Thomas's offense. The Pistons will be better. The Pistons at least have Cade and Schroeders now. They're a solid 25th best offense.
Fuck, man. I actually don't know.
You might be 30 and 30.
We could be 30 and 30.
You never want to be 30 and 30, but you want to be 30 for 30.
Yeah.
Like them Dockers. All right, are we done yet?
I think we're done here. What do you reckon our win total will be?
A 12. I think 12. I think you'll get worse.
Yeah, I think 12. I think wins are just so irrelevant, though.
Yeah, wins are irrelevant. What matters is, are you going to trade one of your vets?
Yeah.
I think you're stuck with Jordan Poole there.
Yeah. Might have to be.
Yeah, well, it's good. It's like, remember when Kobe was playing for the Lakers and they had like 4 top 3 picks in a row? It's like, oh, we got to watch Kobe shoot. The other difference is no one wants to watch Jordan Poole shoot.
No one. Yeah. That's a great place to end it.
Yeah.
Good chatting to you, Sean.
Peace.
The Jeff Van Gundy Tribute Show is your fortnightly dose of the lighter side of basketball, hosted by me, Marco.
And me, Lucas. We take a more laid-back approach, talking about the NBA, the WNBA, FIBA basketball, culture, whatever tickles our fancy or grinds our gears.
The show is filled with great guests, classic gags, and a healthy dose of tangents in honor of the great man himself.
The Jeff Van Gundy Tribute Show, fortnightly on the Deep 2 Podcast Network.
You know, loves just talking about the league, certain things like that.
The NBA moves so quickly these days, it's hard to keep up. Shams and Woj are breaking stories left and right, but the Quick Time Out is right there with them to keep you informed on the latest NBA news. Stop in and let us break it down as it happens. Find the Quick Time Out on the Deep 2 Podcast Network.